Welcome to the Epicenter. This is Frank.
This is Banhammer.
Double.
And Tony is joining us because I accidentally sent him the link.
Hi.
Oh, Bill's hat are worth $10, mate. Yeah, she's trying to Jew me out of this.
Did she call you mate?
Yeah, she called me mate.
Oh, then she must be British or Australian. You tell her we kicked your ass back in 1776.
Just call her Aussie Fag. See what she does.
Okay, so let's before we deviate too much. Well,
Bill's is worth 20 according to my expert.
Is that the vintage or non-vintage? But okay, so let's start with anime news. Any of that?
Nah, I have none. It's Otakon next week.
Yay! Oh, Otakon next week.
Otakon.
Hashtag.
There's going to be a lot of people meeting at my house. Oh, wait.
Break the glasses, smash the plates. That's what Tony Mike hates.
I don't think he'll care as much as I would.
You see that? It's like it'd be like the Hobbit. We'll all be going there at different times.
Hold up.
No. You see, you're wrong about that, Ryan, because I have lots of Chinese ceramic vases in my house.
Frank, is your Bill's vintage?
It is not vintage. Wait, is it vintage? Let me look.
Because
I don't think it's vintage.
I don't think vintage Bills exists. But both my experts say $10 is not worth it all.
Okay. So yeah, she's trying to lowball me here. But anyway. So yeah, no anime news really. The new season's still good. I'm still watching all the shows I've been watching.
I finished watching No Game No Life. That's about it.
Enjoy it?
I enjoyed it immensely. I really wanted to have a season 2 like yesterday.
I believe it's based off a visual. Light novel.
It'll get a season 2, trust me, in about a year or two.
Alright.
That sold well, if I remember correctly.
Alright, good. Because it was very entertaining, and I won't.
So Ryan, since you watch Sword Art Online, how come Kirito Senpai's a girl?
Well, he got a rare avatar, and I guess I don't know. It apparently turned out as a female, and he used his ridiculous hack skills in a game of to run around, and he got 3,000 credits. And what does he use with his 3,000 credits in a game that's full of guns and precision accuracy? He buys a fucking laser sword and a handgun.
Of course.
And that's what he'll do, because I like the way Justin told me that the guy who was talking about stats in the first episode and how important it is all going to go out the window when Kirito uses his plot armor to run around and hit people with swords in a gun game.
But he's a girl now, so it's okay.
Yeah, I know, he's a girl now, and he didn't want the chick that he was with to think that he wasn't a girl for some strange reason, so he pretended to be a girl, which I think is even worse.
Sounds
Dude,
worse.
he's living out the dream.
I don't know. You know what it is? Since I don't have to see their crappy relationship, this is more tolerable. It's still a terrible show, but I will watch it every week. Savagebu, or I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but that's still fucking really funny.
Oh my god, yes it is.
She pistol whipped that guy and then started kicking him in the rib cage.
And that's where I got my new Steam icon from that show, so.
Jacked platypus.
It's a shame Sentai has that.
Yeah. Oh no! Come on.
It'll get a really shitty dub and probably piss yellow subs. So I'm gonna wait until the Blu-ray rips come out from someone, because I hope someone's gonna do them, and then I'll get the Blu-ray rips.
I could have swore NIS America was gonna get that.
No, it's fucking Sentai, because they go on a licensing binge, and then their voice acting is just fucking atrocious, and they don't even try to match the lip flaps with it anymore. It's pathetic.
Huh? Clara went offline. Yeah. I called you out on your bullcrap.
But that kind of makes me angry. I have to wait. I have to see because they're going to ruin another good show that I liked from 2 years ago. The Problem Children are coming because as soon as I saw that they got that, I'm like, well, guess I'm not buying that show. I'm going to keep my fan subs. I have to see if they have a shitty dub clip of it out. And speaking of dub clips, they released more dub clips for the new Sailor Moon dub.
Oh,
did
the
they?
Fort Crystal.
Not Crystal. This is the original that they put in Blu-ray.
Oh, okay. So that,
It is still. I forgot how freaking hammy that show is.
Oh,
I'm probably gonna buy at least the first 2 seasons of it.
pretty ridiculous.
It's because it's so fucking corny. It's nothing but shonen for girls.
Yeah,
That's
speaking
all
of
it
Hemi-
really is.
Speaking of Hemi, I remember something else I watched this week. I was so eager to watch the most recent episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders that I got a free premium trial membership on Crunchyroll to watch the full episode before they made it, available to the public.
I just download from horrible subs.
I just download from horrible subs too. I refuse to support Crunchyroll in any shape or form because they're a bunch of frickin' thieves and they got rewarded for being thieves by stealing from other fan subbers and putting it as their own. They got to somehow legitimize as a real company.
Oh yeah. That's not good practice.
So
but-
so horrible horrible subs it is. And I don't feel bad at all.
But the episode was pretty satisfying. Are any of you relatively current on Stardust Crusaders?
I read that
Turn
arc
on
manga.
Stardust Crusaders.
What
Yep,
was
I
that?
am. I know the last episode I watched, they beat the lovers.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
Pretty
That-
hilarious.
and really satisfying. Just-
Oh, when Jotaro was just writing in the notebook of everything he owed that guy.
Yep.
He owed Steely Dan.
No,
I think
not Steely Dan. Dan of a
No,
Steel.
no. They change it. Notice they say Steely Dan, and they're actually saying Steely Dan, but they don't. But they change it in the fan subs because I guess they don't want to get sued. Just
Yeah.
like originally, it actually was AC/DC, but they changed the way they pronounce it to like ECDC in the video
EC.
game.
Ishidishi.
Yeah. But it was pretty good.
It was. I quite enjoyed it. I
Alright.
feel it was
yes.
worth staying up till 4 in the morning to watch the whole way through.
Just rip it from the fan sub. I have no guilt at all about that.
Oh,
You're
well.
a guiltless person.
To each,
I know I am.
his own. To each his own.
Yeah, I am not a guiltless person. And, think of me what you will, but that is the case.
To each his own.
Yeah.
Alright, we shall be moving on, I suppose, to tabletop and the comics.
All right.
Yes, I have comics news.
Oh, so do I for once. Well, there's something to talk about, so yeah, go ahead.
Spider-Man's doing some crazy stuff.
Is he still Doc Ock?
No.
Oh.
So they got hit. So this has to do with the whole Watcher, the whole original Sin event. Apparently, this organization stole the Watcher's body parts and weaponized them. And they set off a bomb that had the Watcher's eye in it that hit people with secrets related to them. And so Spider-Man got hit with a secret that somebody else got bit by the spider after him. And now it's some chick named Silk who was detained in this facility to keep her away from Moreland. Who's he's like a power vampire who has something to do with the spider totem. So anyway, so Spider-Man broke her out of that prison, and she's like, "No, what are you doing? Moreland's coming to get me." And Spider-Man's like, "Easy, B. Moreland got killed long ago." But yeah, Moreland's back now.
Sounds pretty crazy.
So yeah, and Spider-Man now has a new girlfriend in the form of Silk. Her name is Silk because she wears a costume made of. She
And
wears
maybe
a
speeders.
yeah, because spiders. I think she's not as strong as Spider-Man, but she's faster than him, and she has better spider sense.
So wait, he's dating a superhero now?
Yes, one that just happened, one that was just made.
So maybe she
What
won't
issue is
die
this?
as quickly.
What?
What issue is this?
Oh, issue. Oh, they messed with the numbering. So it's issue. I'll have to get back to you on that one. I don't
Alright,
have it on me right
give
now.
me the issue on that because the first appearance.
Okay,
I'll grab
okay.
it. Usually I like to grab first appearances if I see them.
Yeah. I mean, I even have a figure. I have a figure of Anti-Venom, and he was only in for a few issues. He's not there anymore. I don't think anybody even remembers him. That's when Eddie Brock got hit by Mr. Negative, and he became an anti-symbiote. It looks pretty cool. But let's see what else. Deadpool's now protecting his daughter that he found out about, which is pretty cool. Yeah, the Deadpool comic, I highly recommend that one. Now that it's been taken away from Daniel Way, who I felt wrote Deadpool like a stupid teenager would.
But he's lost so funny.
He had Deadpool for like freaking years.
I will admit that when Daniel Way first had him for the first two trades, the one where he fought the Skrulls and the one where he fought Hawkeye, those were good.
Actually, those were good, and the one where he tried to join the X-Men, I liked that arc.
That was pretty good too.
Where he saved Domino from falling off of like a building with like a pool full of pancakes or some shit. But the Hawk shit was like amazing. I loved that.
Yeah, oh my god.
Where they just had fun trying to kill one another throughout like 2 issues.
Is that a meat suit?
What do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a villain.
Wade Wilson, what's your dream? I want to wear a suit of meat and fight in it. Yeah! And that was. I think Daniel Way just ran out of ideas and ways to make Deadpool funny. But now that it's being also co-written by Brian Posehn, as I've said before, yeah, it's genuinely funny Deadpool, and it actually has some like heart-wrenching moments. Because Deadpool's supposed to be a troubled guy. The whole.
Yeah.
The whole trope. There's a sad face behind the clown makeup. That's what I like about it.
So I think Brian Posehn is the perfect writer because he's like kind of metal, but at the same time he's
a nerd.
Yeah,
He's a nerd. He's one of us.
So he really gets it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy comes out on Friday.
Oh, this Friday?
Yeah, August 1st.
Oh yeah, I'll have to go see that.
Oh yeah, I wanted to see that as well, but I may actually be able to contribute more heavily to the comic discussion now because there is a comic book in my hometown.
A
comic shop. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. But yeah, and it's a neat little place. It kind of reminds me of Bloomsburg shop, except not run by a very sad person.
Aww.
Are you sure it's not just Nate in a disguise?
No, he's got too much hair.
How do you know?
What's it called?
Letterhead Comics.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I got some news. In one of the 62 Wolverine magazines that are out next month, Wolverine dies.
Yes.
I don't know which one it is, but I just
Probably
found
the
out
main
about
one.
that.
Yeah, I know Wolverine was. They were leading up to this. I read the Wolverine comic, and they were kind of leading up to this that he was going to die.
How does that affect all the other Wolverine comics? Because
how does it affect one of my top Marvel comics, Wolverine and the X-Men?
yeah,
What, if he's dead, what's it gonna do?
like what timeline is this? Because Marvel It's really fucked up right now.
Plus, it's an
You know what?
X-Men.
You know what's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. Apocalypse is going to show up and fire Omega beams from his eye and send Wolverine back to the fucking past, where he'll be a caveman, a pilgrim, a cowboy, before coming back to the future.
Actually, Wolverine was alive during Old West time, so he's already a cowboy.
Yeah.
Dude, no, they'll retcon that and reveal that he was alive as a caveman.
Oh,
He was
Jesus
the first
Christ.
human.
I wouldn't put it
Wolverine, the missing link.
I wouldn't put it past them.
And that's
So
why he
we'll
has
bring out a
Wolverine
new
claws.
Wolverine, who you'll get to like the new Wolverine because it's different, but then they'll decide to bring the other fucking Wolverine back.
That's probably what's going to happen to Thor. Because, Thor is still going to be running around without his hammer.
Yeah,
so he's going to end up coming back.
It's
Yeah.
just a new character who's a chick just found the hammer and was all like, "Oh, hey, I can pick this up. Cool. I'm a god now."
I mean, she's worthy to wield Mjolnir, so she's probably a badass. She has to be a badass if she's worthy to wield the hammer.
And her character design's pretty cool.
Even though one of my favorite characters in Marvel is Thor Frog. I forgot his actual name, but I call him Thor Frog.
Thor Frog.
He was from a limited series called Pet Avengers.
Huh.
It's where all the pets of these superheroes go to gather the Infinity Gems before Thanos gets them. It's really good. It is actually really good. There was a story time of it on CO. I'm thinking of actually buying it.
It sounds adorable.
I like when Marvel does ridiculous stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it sounds adorable.
'Cause I like my comics to be ridiculous. That's why I like Next Wave. It's ridiculous. I like Warren Ellis because he's ridiculous.
You're never gonna get another Next Wave series, which makes me sad. I'd love another.
Hey, the Next Wave guys keep on popping up in comics.
I know that they make cameos.
They haven't forgotten. No, I mean even in the Captain Marvel comic, Monica Rambeau actually had a pretty big part for an arc. And she was because she was Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And Captain Marvel, actually, she was Miss Marvel, but then she took the Captain Marvel name because Captain Marvel dead.
See, I like
the man Captain Marvel.
I like when Marvel's crazy, but I don't like how they have like 70 timelines.
Yeah.
Usually they're supposed to stay separate unless you go into anything Fantastic Four related. Then it gets ridiculous.
But at the same time, still, it's like, when there's 3 different X-Men comic books on the same week.
Yeah.
Welcome to DC and Batman.
I mean, Marvel. I think Marvel does best with like the street heroes, like Spider-Man, Deadpool, somewhat, like Moon Knight. I love Moon Knight. That is such a good comic. Okay. Anything else for comics?
No.
Yep.
Tabletop news.
I was unfortunately unable to attend Tabletop last Friday because I went to Friday Night Magic with my homies.
Now I know something big happened on the tabletop at the D&D game, but I'm gonna let Banhammer take the stand here. What did you do, Banhammer?
I almost one-shot at that boss because I rolled a nat 20 on my daily power.
Yes,
What's
he
your
rolled
daily do again?
What?
What's your daily do again?
It's Dreadstar. I hit it with like radiant energy or some shit.
With
and
a radiant star beam.
Yeah, and then he gets immobilized and takes 2 will damage, and he has to do a saving throw. And
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I did 22 straight up damage to it.
Yeah, and he had 30 some HP.
Nice.
Wow.
Because I thought you guys were gonna I thought the tank and the rogue were gonna bum rush him to get that melee damage, but then he was gonna use his cloak to daze them, because that's what his cloak does. And that's the cloak you took. But no, you guys got a nat 20 on your
Well, I rolled like crap the entire night, so that more than made up for it.
So you just star lasered him in the face.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
That star lasered him from in the face 10 spaces away from him.
That's hardcore. I approve.
That was pretty good. I enjoyed that.
I like that.
Demon the Descent has a new book out, which I didn't buy yet, but I might in the future. It's called Heirs to Hell, and it's about what happens when a demon and a human or two demons has a baby. Apparently, sometimes they get like demon powers.
Dante?
This is Demon the Descent, so they're kind of different than like Judeo-Christian demons. Which
Right.
Judeo-Christian demons are in World of Darkness.
Yeah, they're a.
Can
I
I be
saw the
Dante?
distinction.
Yeah, the Lucifuge, those are Dante. they're hunters who use demon powers. My brother played one,
Nice.
but yeah,
I'm
that
still
looks
excited
pretty
for
cool.
that. I'm still excited for that. I can't.
I downloaded the PDF for it and I'm reading through it and I like what they're doing with that. That's an interesting concept.
The whole
Yeah, the God Machine and
you like the whole espionage aspect of it.
yeah,
I
actually,
love it.
yes, I do. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I love it. It is so different.
It sounds like a thinking man's game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is so different from any World of Darkness game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you play a certain kind of changeling, or a certain kind of, or a certain kind of hunter, but no, this is straight up.
No, this is Cold War stuff. The way how they described it with the
Yeah, straight
Berlin
up-
Wall and
They
don't
even
blow
have the
your
Moscow.
cover.
They even have the Moscow rules printed in the PDF right
Yeah, 'cause
there.
I have-
Moscow rules.
yeah, I'm just reading the background lore on it. I'm already digging it. I might buy the book.
Like the printed book. I can completely vouch for that.
Yeah,
Alright.
I know. I'm like super jacked to play that. That's gonna be incredible.
Oh, it's gonna be a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cooking. I should make some angels for you guys. You know, fun hunter angels, nice powers.
Yeah, the best kind, the good shit to deal with.
Hey, you guys just go walking around. Hey, look at me, I'm a demon. Nope, God Machine knows where you are. Sends hunters.
My
Yeah.
cover is that I'm a famous chef on TV.
My cover is I'm a rap mogul.
You blew my cover.
I got my Scarlet Speedster. He's a mafia hitman,
Oh, nice.
but you see, you're supposed to take one skill specialty that goes against your starting cover. And it's kind of hard to explain. His is he's also a master chef.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
something different then.
I'm a hip hop mogul named Stanley Mitchell.
No,
you
you can
be an
start off
established salary, man.
I should. Gotta be a Scrivener.
a Scrivener, and the specialty that's going against it is probably like, I don't know, explosives or something.
Yeah, something that's the total opposite of being a file clerk.
Yeah, you're a dancer.
Stunt driver.
Stunt driver's good. Drive is
is really a really good skill in World of Darkness. I never realized how I read Bazzy ran a hunter game for his birthday one year, and I was the only one who took drive, and we were playing, like, I forget what it was, but I was basically Mr. Crocker, but instead of hunting fairies, I was hunting vampires. So we all fired into the Crocker mobile, and I drove around like a lunatic, and then, since it was a one-off game, we had to end it somehow, so they told me to drive off the cliff to kill the vampire, so I did and killed us all.
Yeah, I think our friend Huio was the driver in my hunter game, and they were. You see, there's some light drinking that goes into the game sometimes. You know, not enough that that people are falling down, but enough that they start making plans that seem like good ideas.
They aren't.
I will tell you, we were completely sober with our mage car idea.
Is that the one where you threw Spike?
Yes, on the
Where they
highway.
threw-
Punchy McHammerfist as a Sonic the Hedgehog, like.
Yeah, he was a life mage, so he made himself into like a spiny ball, and I think Tony used telekinesis to hurl him towards the other car.
Something like that.
Yeah, and that was pretty. And you guys got the rolls on that one. And one time they in the Hunter game, they were fighting a werewolf.
Werewolf.
So they were driving away from it because you don't straight up fight a werewolf if you're not prepared for it. If you don't have like a whole jewelry store full of silver with you. So they were driving away and it was coming after them. So they decide to stick their swords out the window and have Huey do like a spinning motion with the car to use to use the momentum of the car to slice the werewolf. But yeah, that didn't work out. That did not work out at all.
Aw.
I wish it did. I wish it did.
But
Shouldn't
sadly.
have it worked. You're the DM.
But anyway, yeah, that's Demon for you.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be fun, and it is going to take place in Seattle
Nice.
because I like the idea of the Splinter timelines, especially the fact that there's a Splinter timeline where Y2K is happening. Y2K actually happens,
Ooh.
and it resets. It happens. Everything shuts down and everything goes to hell. You see, according to Demon, in the Demon backstory, there's an angel called Y2K that injected itself into the internet to correct all the bugs that have to do with the clock. But in a Splinter timeline, the Y2K fell and did not complete his task, and there's it's about a week before. Then the timeline lasts a week before Y2K and a week after. So yeah, it's pretty good stuff. And it keeps resetting back. It keeps going through an endless cycle because that's how the Splinter timelines work. They last a bit, they go to a bit, and then they reset back at the beginning. It's some pretty cool stuff. I'm not going to explain it too in depth. But yeah, that's Demon for you.
I'm pumped.
We can move on to the technologies.
Alright, so I got two stories. First of all, Amazon has a 3D printer store up now, where you can't buy the printers, but they're actually selling like individual pieces you can customize and have them make for you.
Oh, nice. Wait,
They
so
have, like,
are they selling like bits that they can use their 3D printers to make stuff for you?
Yeah, basically, they have items for sale, and you can customize the item as you see fit, and then they'll just make it for you and ship it.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I like Amazon because they really want to capitalize on emerging technology instead of trying to stifle it.
Yep.
It's like the TV companies didn't want VCRs to come out, so they tried to stifle the technology.
Now, the only thing is, a lot of the products in there cost a crap ton, so
Yeah,
it's
it's
very impractical, but
you don't
know,
get
if you-
the benefit of bulk manufacturing with 3D printing.
No.
Yeah.
So you're paying a lot for one product, but if you want something,
Specific.
yeah. And my second story is Windows or Microsoft has announced basically their Arduino like competitor board.
Uh-huh.
It runs actual full Windows.
Mm.
It has a bunch of like different ports and stuff for whatever interface you want, but it's $300, so
That's
No,
interesting. It's hobbyists tend to be a very frugal bunch because we wanna buy all the stuff.
hobbyists are cheap ass.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah.
I
Hobbyists
have- go ahead.
Hobbies buy they buy the board for like $30 or whatever, and then spend 2 years and $1,000 adding on to that board.
Yeah. Just like I think the board is probably one of the cheapest components of
Yeah,
my
exactly.
fight stick.
Yeah.
It's like the fight stick itself cost me not over around just under $200, but the board costs like $30. Those buttons add up.
Oh yeah.
How can the buttons be so expensive? They're just a piece of plastic.
Oh, you don't
No,
understand.
no, no.
You don't understand. These are Sanwa buttons, okay? This is meant for people to bang on them in the arcade.
Oh,
It's
okay.
meant to take a beating. This
Yeah,
this is arcade quality right here, son.
you see, when Fred builds a joystick, he only buys the best.
Because you might as well. You might if I'm going to spend money on something, I want it to last.
Yeah. You don't buy that pleb tier hap.
Don't get me started on HAP. HAP used to be good back when the U.S. actually had arcade machines. Until we started, they started outsourcing their manufacturing to China, and you know how China's the paragon of quality manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you like asbestos in those plastic buttons.
But nope, we go full Sanwa. You see, there's two companies in Japan, Sanwa and Sumitsu. They're the two big ones, and they're pretty much it's pretty much a null argument over which one's better. It's which one you prefer. Pretty much, you'll have neckbeards arguing endlessly about which one's better, but I think it's just personal preference. You're gonna win either way. You're gonna get a quality product either way.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I even went cheap on the buttons too. I could have bought the more expensive buttons that had transparent buttons to put lights in, but I'm not too bad about that. I'm not too ridiculous. I just want to
You're
quality
be looking
buttons.
at the buttons when you're concentrating on a fighting game. So I think light up buttons are a little.
Exactly. I'm not this isn't a ricer stick.
Yeah, you know.
What's wrong with being tacky?
Well, you see, Frank here doesn't need to show that he's a weeb 24/7.
Actually, my fight stick has Elvish on it,
Yeah.
so it's not even. There is nothing weeb about it. But I wanted something that'll turn heads. Like say, hey, what's the deal with that?
Mm-hmm.
It's all gold and blue.
It is mighty impressive to look at.
Yeah. I know when Huio's family came over, they were like flabbergasted that I built something. And it was a nice day out. I like to solder outside, so I don't fill my room with fumes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a nice day soldering outside on my deck. A forest all around me, deer walking by.
Yeah,
Sounds very peaceful.
I need to do some of my TVC stick I got for the Wii.
Yeah, I know. One of our friends, Raven, he got that wrestling fight stick, the one that's really cheap. But it's easy to mod. So as I don't think he modded it yet. So he has the Rock looking at him every time he plays his Weeaboo fighting games.
I know. Yeah,
I don't see the
got that
problem
Wii
with
stick.
that.
Honestly,
I got that
you should make a Michael McDonald fight stick like that one guy.
Yes.
What are you, a pro Mugen fighter?
Oh, you should make a Mr. Crocker fight stick. Berries.
Yeah, I got that Wii stick for like $12 on clearance at GameStop the one day, so I'm not complaining. So I gotta mod it, but
Yeah. Yeah, there's a site called Focus Attack, and they're actually based right in Pennsylvania, but that's where I got all my buttons from.
yep.
Okay, so anything else for the technology? I actually have something for technology. Radio Shack is losing even more money.
What a shame.
Just 1 month after announcing a loss of $98.4 million in a single quarter. Yeah.
Here's the problem at Radio Shack. Well, who goes in there for anything besides you need a resistor?
That's a good
Yeah,
point.
they're pretty much they're outcompeted by like the AT&T store and the I don't know. It's they're trying to diversify into an environment where there's way too much competition.
I mean, honestly, every time I go on to Radio Shack, they have like, oh, you can buy TVs, you can buy phones, you can buy, I'll just go to the AT&T store at Best Buy if I want a phone or a TV.
Yeah.
The only reason I go into Radio Shack is I need a resistor on the fly,
Or I need a I need an adapter so I could hook my Atari up to my modern
Exactly.
TV. Yeah, that kind of thing. I when I had that Pong machine, I there was some. Now I'm not saying this because she was a girl. But it could have been a guy. But when I asked her the question about the port, she looked at me like I had two heads. And I had to apologize to her. I actually apologized to her for putting her through that.
That's your average Radio Shack employee nowadays.
But I am so sorry for asking this. But where's an adapter to hook this up to this? And I got looked at like I had two heads. Because it was the fork. It was the fork plugs that you put to the antenna port, which all modern TVs have these days.
Mhm.
Nope. And with the Atari, you can bypass that, but not with a lot of Pong consoles. They're hard soldered right to the board itself.
The real problem is Radio Shack people don't know, because,
Yeah, they're meant to push phones. That's when I applied for Radio Shack one time. I was basically judged on how well I would push phones, and I was like, oh, I want to help people with audio hookups and everything, and they're like, nope, push phones.
nope. Yeah, it's like they get maybe 2 people a day looking for an audio hookup, and everyone else looking for a phone.
Yeah. Yeah, they just need to really rethink. They need a radical restructuring. That's what they need. And sadly, it's gonna be a lot of jobs lost, which is a sad thing.
Yeah.
On that happy note, shall we move on to video games?
Sure. So, here's some crazy news. For the Xbox One, EA is doing a game subscription plan for old games.
Yeah, that's been coming. Something like that's been. I was waiting for that kind of thing because I know PlayStation doing something like that with their
No.
streaming.
This is actually, I think, you get to download the games.
Okay.
It's kind of like how PS Plus gives you free games.
Yeah, but these won't go away every month, will they?
No. It's $5 a month or 30 a year, and right now the selection is piss poor. But then again, yeah, there really isn't a lot of EA games on Xbox One anyway. But I mean, for 30 a year, you get whatever games they add to that service. So, I mean, I can see like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
Plus
it being
you
a
also
good
get
investment.
10% off any EA digital purchase.
Interesting.
So, I mean, while I hate EA, this really isn't a bad deal. Maybe 2 or 3 years down the road when they have like some decent games on there.
I'm still angry that I can't play American. I can't get a copy of American McGee's Alice. You know, the actual good Alice game, not the Madness Returns, which was awful.
Oh, yeah. They should re-release that or something.
Yeah, they need to re-release that somehow. I was gonna say put on Steam, but nope, they got Origin.
Actually, Sims 2 was free on Origin, I think, this week. I was like, yeah, but I have to boot up Origin. I'm not gonna do that.
Boot up Origin.
Get down to someone to update.
Yeah. Ugh.
What kind of a world do we live in where we shun updates because they make things worse?
Well, Origin is just... anything that isn't Steam that's one of those digital download things is crap. So...
well, they need to... Steam's kind of like a juggernaut at this point. And I do think that there needs to be competition against Steam. I love Steam.
Well, I know
Steam.
there needs to be competition, but at the same time, like...
somebody needs to step it up and be a good competitor to Steam. I think GOG has the...
because otherwise, Valve can just get away with pulling a whole bunch of shit, because you don't own your games that are on Steam.
Oh, no.
That's the eternal problem with it.
I mean, yeah, GOG is actually making a good competition for Steam, which I appreciate.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
my problem with like Origin or Uplay is it's all like Ubi or EA games. Is
Oh, I hate Origins and Uplay.
like nah. I'm fine with GOG, or I'm fine with it's Desura, whatever. It's for like
Yeah, Desura, I think.
yeah,
Desura.
Desura is basically for second tier indie games who can't get on Steam.
Oh,
So
cool.
well, that's what it is. If you get, I think it's like the one of the indie bundles, you get like Desura keys as well, and Desura is basically for the second tier indie games who can't make it on Steam because they're piss poor. But yeah. Let's see what else.
Otherwise,
Yeah. Hmm?
in other news and video games, I've been playing Risk of Rain again.
It's that 2D roguelike, right?
Yeah, it's a 2D roguelike platformer. The main mechanic of it is that you start off on the easiest difficulty, and over time it just becomes harder the longer you go. And yeah, and it can get kind of ridiculous. You can buy items in order to make yourself stronger, but the items are usually random. I had the good fortune of finding an item that allows me to pick what item I want, so I can just build my character however I please. But it's a pretty tough game, but it's a ton of fun. And even though it's like super easy to die and get frustrated, you can just start again super easy and play for as long as you want. It's real fun.
I got something for video games. I got something big for video games.
What?
All right, do tell.
I've discovered this little online game called Space Station 13.
Oh, God.
It is hilarious. The best description of it is essentially it's a C-Lab game. C-Lab 2021 in space. That's the best description I can give of it. It's essentially the same idea as Dwarf Fortress, but the graphics are better than Dwarf Fortress, and each of the dwarfs. Yes, it has graphics, and each of the dwarfs is controlled by a person. And there's just so the graphics are simplistic, and the platform it's developed on is really crappy. So it's not gonna get any awards for intuitiveness of the design. But oh my god, the stuff you can do, the depth of it. You can be a scientist and mix chemicals. You can be a bartender and mix drinks and mix chemicals in your drinks and drug your patrons. You can be a botanist and as a botanist, you're supposed to provide food to the kitchens and provide valuable plants to the quartermaster so we can make a profit. But what usually happens is the botanists just end up growing weed. And every round you play on, usually because when you play around, there's always a few people spawn as antagonists, like an evil wizard or a changeling alien that absorbs people, or people who want to sabotage the station. So it's always usually around after about 40 minutes devolves into utter chaos. And then the escape shuttle's called. Also, one player plays as the AI, which has control over all the doors of the station. So think about that one.
That sounds fun.
Sounds like a horrible game to play with Ryan. He'll kill us all.
Ryan spawns his AI. Gets permabanned from the server.
Opens the airlocks.
That does happen, and you can destroy the walls. The space station's fully destructible. But you can make meth in the lab. But I have a few stories. Even from the day, I've been playing for about a day, and I've just gotten used to the UI. And I have some stories. Like one time, I like to play as a bartender because it's an easy job when you're starting out because nobody cares if the bartender's not good at his job.
Okay.
And it's fun, and you start out with body armor and a revolver and a shotgun. Because the bar is where a lot of bad stuff happens. If you play as the janitor, the bar is like the second filthiest place to be after the med bay because people are always causing trouble in the bar. That's why
So is it like the game?
What? Yes. What?
Is it broken out like into rounds, or how's the game work?
It's rounds, and uh, the rounds usually last around 40, 50 minutes, because around the 40-minute mark, that's usually when the space station's completely effed, and they have to call the escape shuttle.
So is it like a turn-based game, or?
No, it's not turn-based. It's
Oh, okay.
everything's real time.
All right, I'll
But,
check it out then.
How much does it cost?
Nothing.
It's free.
It costs
That's free
nothing.
to play.
Yes, and if I had to spend money on that kind of interface, I would not be playing it.
Nah.
Must be
Well,
wrong.
no,
I think
it's
Now, where can you get this game? Can you just get it off the internet or off Steam or what?
You have to download Beyond, BYOND.
Okay.
And there's the founder of Space of Beyond says it's a miracle that Space Station 13 even compiles at all. It's held together with duct tape and faith, but I love it. I have a lot of fun with this.
Sounds like it's indicative of the game world itself.
Yeah, it's so one time I was playing as here's a little example. One time I was playing as a bartender. And this is when I was pretty good at a bartender at this point. I could mix all kinds of drinks. Making gin and tonic, making my mixing, because I know how to. There's also a chem dispenser, so you can mix. I learned how to mix up space drugs, so I was adding space drugs to the drinks.
Nice.
So everyone's having a good time in the bar when all of a sudden I got teleported to the teleporting lab and trapped in a cell. Apparently, a clown and a scientist were messing around with the teleporter and just trying to capture as many people as they could. So then, I pleaded with them, saying, "Hey, I'm the bartender. How are people supposed to get drunk off high-quality booze without me?" And you know what they said? They said, "Crap, you're right. Step back on the teleportation space. We're sending you back."
That's pretty great.
And then I also played as a botanist, and I ignored requests from the kitchen and just grew weed, mutated weed, mind you, and I managed to get it rainbow colored.
Nice.
nice.
So yeah, it's a pretty hilarious game. Now there are rules, like people look down on outright griefing unless you're an antagonist,
Mm-hmm.
but usually you can get away with a lot if you know where there's no cameras at. And there's a security force, there's a detective, there's doctors, there's a geneticist. You can get mutated. It's just the depth of it is just maddening. Each job is almost like its own game.
That's pretty neat.
So yeah,
Hey,
it's
how much is 15% off of $76?
15% off of $76.
Why don't you just Google that?
Yeah, you can Google
Probably
that.
could.
I should know, but I'm terrible at math.
1140.
What?
But yeah, so
1140? Oh, I do the math right. Oh, Otakon is having a Parking Panda deal where you get 15% off of 3-day parking for the event. And if I go and I register for the valet parking at the Hampton Inn, they were advertising it as $76, so that's $11.40 off of the 76.
that's pretty good. That's all right.
So
Yeah.
that's a pretty good deal.
But yes, I fully endorse Space Station 13, and you guys should all download it and let me know so we can get on the same server.
Sounds like a riot.
Yeah, there's a few, like the bartender's a good noob class. The assistants are always a good noob class because they just walk around and do nothing. They have no job. And I know the botanist is pretty good too to be a noob at. But yeah. So yeah, download Space Station 13 so we could all mess around on the server together.
Sounds good. I'll have to look into it.
Alright, anything else for those video games?
Yeah, I just got a quick acquisition notice. Koei bought, they're called Gus. They basically make Weeb games.
Uh-huh.
Weeb RPGs to make the Altair series, and that's about it.
Oh, one more thing possibly for video games. Did I ever talk about the final boss battle in the first Dark Souls 2 DLC?
No.
No, you did not. I saw the boss battle though. My brother did that.
Isn't it fucking great?
Yeah.
It is a fantastic fantastic boss. And I don't know if I don't know if talking about it will spoil it.
I don't know.
Ben Hammer, have you fought it? Or have you fought it? Do you even have the DLC?
Hammer. Hammer. Oh, he's not with us now.
Oh no.
Yeah, but I definitely fully endorsed the Dark Souls DLC, Dark Souls 2 DLC. It's not, it doesn't seem like it's a cash in. It seems like because the game already wasn't incomplete. It was a very substantial game, and the DLC just adds to it if you want more. That's how DLC should be, and you get a lot of stuff.
Such a good deal. $64.75 for 3 days of parking.
Ben Hammer, you have the do you have the Dark Souls 2 DLC?
No.
You haven't fought the totally awesome final boss of it yet.
Huh? I'm buying parking. I have to save my money.
Dark Souls 2 DLC is good stuff.
You can talk about it. I'm probably not paying attention right now.
Okay, so it's similar to the optional boss of the Artorias of the Abyss DLC. It's a Durgan. It's a dragon. But here's the thing. It is a much more hardcore dragon fight than Kalameet ever was. and I loved the Kalameet fight, but goddamn, Sini, whatever, S-I-N-H. How do you even fucking pronounce it?
I forgot his name.
It's S-I-N-H is how it's spelled. I have zero idea of how it's pronounced, but
S-I-N-H?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It is such a fun fight because instead of just like how Kalameet only used his wings to, fly up and douse one area on fire, which made sense because it got crippled by Goff. Sign's wings are fully operational. And he just flies all over the fucking place, like dive bombing you, like air strafing you with fireball shots, and his fire breath poisons. So yeah, it's a really hardcore fight, but it was so much fun.
Yeah, the poison Durgan.
The poison Durgan. I love that fight. I highly recommend Crown of the Sunken King to anyone who has Dark Souls 2. It's a great DLC.
Oh, also that new Lord of the Rings game. Actually, they pushed it up a week. So, anyone who's interested in Shadows of Mordor, you'll get to play it a week early, because Warner Brothers knew that October 7th was going to be a hell day for video games, and yeah.
That's sometimes you got to make an executive decision.
Since we talked about good DLC in Crown of the Sunken King, I don't know if we ever talked about this. Something that's probably going to end up becoming bad DLC.
Which
you guys have heard of Evolve, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you hear that they're planning on making it modular to support, and I quote, the most DLC of any game ever?
Whoa, that is impossible.
Because Train Simulator exists, I know. But they want to artificially extend this game's life for fucking ever by just piling DLC on top of it.
That makes me sad.
It makes me very sad.
Because I was actually excited for that game.
I'm excited for it too. And you know what? I don't know how many other people are going to do this, but I think we should all take a stand. We should buy Evolve and then never buy any DLC for it. Let their Titanic sink. Buy the tickets, crash into the iceberg.
Yeah, because it's unless they go hardball on it. If you don't buy the DLC, you'll still be able to fight the monster. You just won't be able to play as the monster.
Well, no, you won't be able to fight. Yeah, you won't be able to fight like the special monsters. You won't be able to play the special characters, and hopefully they won't do it like the modern military shooters, where it's like, oh, if you don't have this pack, you can't play with your friends because you're behind on the DLC. Buy our complete edition.
I mean, that's why I like even Dark Souls 2. It's good DLC. Everyone can still do PvP with people with the the Sunken King gear.
PvP, PvE, you can do it all. You don't have
I
to have
mean,
Sunken King to do it.
if they want to make Evolve like every couple months, they release a new map pack and do this for years, maybe. But
But the way they were talking about it, it was something. It sounded like
It's scary. It's scary. It's scary language.
yeah, it's like every 2
it's Train
weeks.
Simulator.
It's like every 2 weeks you're gonna release a new character class you can play with.
No.
Just give us $5. Come on.
They're trying to make it into League.
Yeah, except with League, you don't have to pay $5 to get the new character they release every 2 weeks. You can just, get IP.
You
No,
know,
that, but League is free.
Yeah,
I don't
League is
have
also
to spend
free.
a dime on League.
yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind microtransactions in League because the game itself is free.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's just how it is. I'm not gonna fault Riot for doing that, for finding a way to make money off a game where the base is free. I don't. People spend money on it because they choose to, not because they have to do it to play the game.
hmm
Yeah, that's the thing about DLC. DLC is supposed to extend the game's life, not be your cash flow.
And that's what they're making it sound like. They sound like they
Yeah.
want to force it to just, keep the game alive as some half-formed zombie for the rest of eternity.
Well, I'm gonna wait to see what Evolve brings into the table because it seems like one of those things where they can severely gimp the game
Yeah.
until you buy the DLC.
Because, man, I was excited for that.
Yeah, the language they're using is very scary.
I
Yeah.
wanted to play as the flying monster and evolve fire breathing and become a dragon and just be like, come and get me, motherfuckers. Are you the Dovahkiin?
I'm gonna play as Rambo.
Yeah.
I'll play as Arnold.
But yeah, where there is a silver lining, there must always be a cloud, I guess.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, that's about it for video games.
Yep. Anything we're at miscellaneous. Anyone have any final thoughts they want to get off their chests?
It's not. It's gonna cost me $70-some because that deal's only good for 3 days. I need it for 4.
Oh,
What a shame.
What a shame.
what a shame. What a rotten way to die. Oh well. I guess that's all our final thoughts. Everyone, thank you for joining me. Thank you all for listening. Everyone, have a good night.
All night.
Yep.